Yeah, Steph, organizers say they expect thousands of people to come out and flood the streets of downtown Houston this afternoon. Organizers have said that today is really all about honoring George Floyd's life and standing in solidarity with his family. Here in Houston, which is Floyd's hometown, the majority of the marches and protests we've seen have been largely peaceful comparative to other cities across the nation. And both organizers and city leaders are hoping to keep it that way this afternoon.
So I ask that you come upon us, Father, and that you correct this situation, that you make all things right as they're intended to be, that everyone can see that we are equal, we are the same, we all bleed red, Father. We only have differences in skin color, Lord, and that is nothing, Father, in your eyes. I ask all these things in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Amen.
I got a little bit of that. Just a little in the lungs. Just a little bit. You good? Yeah, I'm on my bottle. Oh, that was so annoying. I don't want to push that.
Hey, Art, so we were actually here when this started. This was where we were talking to you just a few minutes ago when I said that everything had been completely peaceful. We watched it. One man approached the police and got in their faces. Actually, he got in the face of an African-American officer and told him that he was a sellout and he was the problem. That was his words, and that's what started all of this. We saw police just pour out from everywhere. They are standing in a straight line in front of the crowd. Hundreds of people now out here just in a moment. These people were all leaving and this happened. We haven't seen any sort of violent activity. We've just sort of seen people raise their voices and police start mobilizing.
There was no moment here other than I think just some anger boiling over. The most striking thing I saw in the last 90 seconds was that front row of young men and women taking a knee, hands up, taking a knee in front of the police. Not a necessarily aggressive stand, and they weren't saying nice things, but they weren't saying necessarily mean things either. This is a group that they've stood their ground, as have police, but more and more police officers continue to come. As these 60,000 people have been down here all afternoon, Mel, police officers have always been close by, but have never been on top of this crowd. They've been a visible presence, but not an aggressive one. And clearly, word got out quickly that something was happening at the corner of Travis and Walker, and the police force has massed here. Pardon me, were you here the whole time? Can I talk to you for just a sec? No, you doesn't want to talk. Were you guys here? So have you been here for 5-10 minutes? And so you tell me with your eyes, what have you seen here?
I saw people walking home.
And so how did it escalate?
They just showed up. I mean, I don't understand. They didn't have any type of presence on any other street.
Yeah.
All they had was the dump trucks on the other street.
Yeah.
So it was unnecessary. I think it's just unnecessary provocation.
So tell me what you take away from today, because I don't want this to be the image of what every Houstonian sees. Today was an incredible day.
Today was a
Oh, we hate that was the moment that we lost Ted there.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Hopefully we will try to get back to him, but...
Police Chief Art Acevedo and several Houston officers were also seen kneeling along with protesters during the march. They took a 30-second moment of silence for George Floyd.
I was at City Hall. Yeah, man. It's okay. Talking with the community. There's video of that. And I could hear my radio. People were calling me saying things were happening here. And the mayor, I got a call. The mayor said, "Hey, Chief, you need to get down there." So I came. I asked my people, "What's going on?" There's a white naked guy messing shit up out there, and I said he's going to jail. And I went because I knew that he was jacking up the crowd. And we're not going to let them jack. You mean to tell me that chief of police arrested a naked man? That makes sense to y'all? That makes sense.
It does not make
Chief of
sense.
police.
Hell no, that don't make sense. Like,
That shit is fake.
yeah, that's that bullshit.
Fucking bullshit, man.
It just so happens some motherfucker shows up at the same time.
When it was happening, I was standing in the fucking front line, bro.
not the front police, but a dude after me, he had just got off the phone. I swear to God on my life.
See?
He had just got off the phone, and then all I heard was ruckus, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he napped.
Oh, yeah.
Stunt.
Yeah, definitely.
Today at this march downtown, there he was on his knees with the protesters, taking off his mask, even as we are amidst this pandemic, and hugging people, posing for pictures as he's been doing all day. Certainly doing everything he can do on the ground there to try and say that police are not their enemy, that police want to hear them, they want to protect them, they want their respect.
Chief Pig! Fuck HPD! Fuck HPD!
See, Chief Art Acevedo, he is listening to people. He's also hearing a whole lot from protesters.
But things here in Texas were more peaceful. In Fort Worth, officers got off their bikes and took a knee. Some protesters even rushed in to hug them.
Escalating the situation, we just saw someone throw a water bottle at a police officer. I don't know what that was. We are running. We are running, guys. I don't know what that was. Right now, we're taking cover. I don't know if you heard that noise. We are moving. We're moving. We're being safe. It's okay.
Don't say that, okay? We're here to protect you, okay? We're not here to hurt you at all. Okay? You can protest, you can march, you can do whatever you want. Just don't break nothing.
They mobilized, and wow, you get a chance to really look down the line there and see what's going on as they line up against so many of the protesters, but it doesn't look as though there's any animosity.
Yeah, now they got the call to switch. They didn't have all this stuff before we was doing our protest. Now, look, they over here pulled to the side, putting on the stuff. Look, putting on the shit, look. Who are they putting that on for? It wasn't nobody violent. Everybody down here was peaceful. They be wanting to smoke. They be wanting all the smoke.
Is it okay that we be here on the sidewalk for a while?
All day.
Okay, awesome.
And then I can actually talk to people instead of just getting shouted at.
So, we're here at the corner of Rusk and Avenida Las Americas, right in front of the George R. Brown Convention Center, right near Minute Maid Park. The cops have just announced that it's an unlawful assembly, and that I can definitely see rubber bullet guns. I can see some tear gas canisters. There's got to be some capsaicin.
Two guys up on the roof there. I don't know if you see them up there. Sniper up in that corner.
We'll be wrapping this up on ABC13.com. You can watch it on channel 13, of course, in just a few minutes. And look at this.
I was going to say, Art, now
this is
he's not talking to us, but obviously this officer's smiling. He's been taking pictures with those young ladies. So clearly, at least on the opposite side, they no doubt consider this day to be a success
like that.
as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a look.
So now they're gonna park all the cars, then they're gonna get out and start forming the line.
Yep.
But it'll still be open passage, I swear, until after dark. And probably not even like long into after dark.
So they can get down to a manageable number.
Yep.
But quickly, they came back. We have this line of police that's just come out of the George R. Brown Convention Center and are moving towards the crowd. And Noah, if you could pan around, yeah, just behind them, there's another maybe 100 police officers that are moving in on this crowd outside of George R. Brown. Things are getting a little bit, are escalating a little bit out here right now. Eric, I'm going to send it back to you.
Okay, they're marching on. Watch out, get on the sidewalk if you don't want to get. They're closing things off now. Watch out, oh shit, okay. Keep moving. Watch out. Hey, they're kettling people in now, guys. They're kettling people in. They're starting to shut in. It's coming on both sides. They're closing us in. They're closing people in, guys. They're closing everyone in. They're starting to get. Everybody has their hands up. Nobody's doing shit. We'll see if they respect the media's right to be here. If you think all the cops do is protect and serve, you do not pay attention. You need to wake up. Look, they've got everybody scrambled in now. All right. They're saying move back. They've got us all kettled in. All right, everybody be chill. They've got us all kettled in here, guys. I'm in here with these people. I'm surrounded by cops. They've now trapped us in here.
Hundreds of police officers over in this area right outside of George R. Brown as things just, as we were on the air, got very tense. Hundreds more officers approaching as well to back up these guys on the front line that you're seeing in our camera shot right now.
Yeah, it looks as though
they have issued several warnings here today.
But heretofore, throwing water bottles has not prompted the police officers to respond aggressively to the crowd.
But the officers today, I personally have not witnessed anyone be arrested. I know that we have heard other reporters say that they have, but the officers are just standing. They've got their helmets on. In the event that things do escalate beyond the point of just throwing water bottles and saying things.
What are we doing? Are y'all seeing this shit? Are y'all seeing this shit? There's nowhere to run. They blocked us in. We can't get out.
We were on the sidewalk.
They didn't tell us shit.
These at night. And you still got a large crowd of people who at this point, and I think I heard Gina say this as a matter of fact, just kind of don't feel like going home just yet. You know, they still want to get out their feelings. And so they're wandering around in many cases kind of aimlessly because they feel as though at least we're here with other people who are experiencing the same feelings and emotions that we are.
Careful.
They don't want us to get so loud, dude.
Please get out. They got us boxed in here. They got us boxed over here. There's probably 50 people or so boxed in here right now.
Creating this sort of mob mentality, that's when you really get into a danger area. once you have a big frenzy and a mob mentality sort of sets in, then that's the frightening part. And that's what they're trying to diffuse, the police at this point.
Whatever your thoughts on people throwing bottles, look how many cops are here. This is totally unnecessary. And like, there's only about 50 people right here in this little circle that I'm in. We're all trapped now. This is a fucking massacre waiting to happen. Oh God, here they come, here they come. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? They're grabbing somebody. What the fuck? They just literally swallowed that guy up. Did anybody see what he did?
Peaceful in the streets that we live in, everybody that's living in, they having complaints about the officers. They either killing, raping, stealing. They do a lot of things that's not justified for. And today we're just trying to get justice.
And so why are you still out here right now, even though the march has ended?
Because we feel like it's no justice. We feel that they're not listening to us. We're not getting our word over to them, and we're not getting no feedback either.
But you're not necessarily looking for feedback from these officers here right now. You're wanting more from Minneapolis.
Yes, more from Minneapolis and less from Houston HPD. Yes, because Houston HPD is acting like we are the target. We're not the target. You know, in Houston they say they're supposed to help us, but they're out here doing all kind of things to the people in the streets, and we want it to stop. We need it to stop.
Have you tried talking to any of the officers and kind of telling them your perspective so that they can understand where you're coming from?
I was once raped by a police officer, and you know what happened to him? Next time I turned around, he was upgraded to sergeant.
I think they're just going to be grabbing everybody one by one. I think they're just going to try to grab everybody. Is there a PIO I can speak to? I'm not here to. They're literally just trying to grab everybody. They keep picking people and grabbing everybody, guys. Oh, guys, they're literally snatching people up. Look, whatever the fuck you guys think, they're literally coming in here and snatching people up. Like, eventually they're going to grab all of us. It's only a matter of time now.
But let's hope that that does not happen here. By the way, on the left side of your screen, there's the chief, Art Acevedo, always deeply, deeply engaged in the community, wanting to talk this out.
I haven't thrown a fucking bottle or touched anything. And I'm here as a journalist documenting this, and you guys know this. And nobody here is doing anything at the moment. So now the cops are literally just snatching people up. Look, guys, they're just snatching people.
Oh, they're coming for another one, ain't they? Oh, they're coming for another one!
What the fuck?
What's the reasoning?
Maybe 1,000 or so in front of George R. Brown. Marla, there on the ground, might have a better sense of what's unfolding there. But the tension that we felt a little bit earlier in the evening, about an hour or so ago, that seems to have subsided out here. And we're really just kind of waiting to see what demonstrators are going to do next. No one's really essentially kicking them out of downtown Houston. But it seems like Houston police are still giving demonstrators out here some space, so to speak.
They're smiling!
Yeah, it's definitely getting tense out there, but it seems at this point officers, for the most part, are still standing down. And I mean, they're just holding this line, but not engaging, despite being pelted by water bottles and what else is coming their way. They're just holding their ground and not moving forward.
Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands
We have seen a lot of tense situations. We've seen 2 people appear to be arrested or taken into custody. Mostly seen Houston police just standing by, basically holding the line, Eric, like you said, and not using any kind of force or anything.
Hold the line! What are you gonna do? She can't breathe! You see this? I'm okay. You okay? Hey! Hey! It's gonna be okay. Get back! Get back! It's gonna be okay.
But at this point, we haven't seen any arrests, and we've seen officers stay very resilient in the face of, well, essentially being physically harmed at times.
The cops inciting violence. The cops inciting violence.
But is it clear why the officers are standing here down in front of that Marquee Hotel? Are they kind of just basically making sure that marchers don't go past that point because they're just kind of watching the crowd here and not making a move? I guess they want to block the road off at that point.
It does appear that they're just trying to get people to go home. We've heard several times over loudspeaker them saying that it's time to go home and everyone to leave downtown. But honestly, we haven't really seen anyone leave in the last several hours.
Man, y'all don't gotta come at us like that, dude. Here they go again. Look, here they go again. Here they go again. Look at this. Look at this shit. This is fucked up, dude. They're just a gang. They're literally acting like a gang right now. We could all just leave right now that we're off the streets. My wife. Watch out. Watch out. Look, there you go again. Look at that. Is that necessary? What the fuck?
Oh, we're actually, Eric, we're actually seeing mounted patrol. Noe, come this way. We're actually seeing mounted patrol start coming down the street right now. We have not been able to have any conversations with the officers themselves, but we have just watched them stand by and not really respond to anything that's coming their way. We've seen people get up in their faces. We've seen people throwing things at them, and they really just stand there.
You don't want to make it worse.
You guys are making it worse.
We want to leave. Everyone here would leave right now. We would all leave right now.
Yeah, we're happy to leave. I'm a journalist here.
How about y'all let us leave? We would all leave right now.
So now they're coming in calmly, not fucking violently.
We were on the sidewalk.
We're gonna go ahead and turn ourselves in
Go for it.
Right now, of the amount of patrol that Micah was describing here, that is basically, if you look to the right of your screen and to the left of your screen, they've made a line and almost sandwiched in Discovery Green.
Then you're not really paying attention.
We're doing one at a time.
And I'm here, man. I can't really do anything.
Nobody said disperse. Nobody said disperse. Like we just.
It cleared out this one road here in front of Discovery Green. Our photographer obviously is taking somewhat of a safe distance to get video for us right now, and basically clearing out of the way himself, which of course is a smart move. But
So I wish I could go over here, but basically you have all these young women lined up. This is the wonderful thousands of officers, and this is the law enforcement action to show for the day, are all of these young women in handcuffs and a bogus, unlawful mass arrest. There's no way this will survive magistration, and if it does, it won't go much further than that. The government putting their jackboot on the people who dare express themselves, who try to spread a message of words instead of force. This is what happens when you use words, you get arrested.
They said either clear the street or they'll get a ticket, or you can go to jail. A, B, or C, your choice.
People are just mad. People are mad. People are upset. They're fucking pissed off. And you cannot blame them. There's more police down there. There's still people right here.
High up on the line, you could get behind me, but my head's so big you can't sit behind me.
That formation again. They're making that trying to make that same formation as last time.
It shit just got real tense. You could feel it in the air. They just cut us off. We was peacefully marching and they just cut us off. Peaceful. We was peacefully marching and they cut us off and started spraying people. This is happening in downtown Houston. They moving. What the fuck is your problem? You see his ass? He about to hit people. What the fuck? Oh my god, bro. Hey, they're right there. They're right in front of you. Don't go that way. 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 Don't go that way.
I think Houston had a great showing by all accounts, and it was a different crowd tonight. Yes, we've seen some tense moments here and there, but as you know, since you were out there last Friday as well, this was not the same crowd, not the same emotion, and not the same aggressiveness. They came out to recognize the day for what it was supposed to be.
I don't want to give police officers too much credit for restraint, but I think it is worth pointing out. It would be easy to clear the streets, put people in zip ties and move them off the streets and get them home, maybe with a stop at the city processing center. But we haven't seen that, and I have to imagine that's purposeful.
But you know, it didn't start out this way. It was a very peaceful situation with actually 60,000 people came out here today, all with a message of unity, with a message of change. In fact, we talked to one young protester today who was so very moved by the experience out here, as so many were, that he took a moment to kneel.
A peaceful protest turned into hundreds of arrests overnight. Police say some protesters refused to clear the streets, threw bottles at them, and then jumped a fence into an empty field. Officers took them away in zip ties one by one and loaded them into a white bus. It appeared no one resisted officers.
Bro, I look just like you, G. Bro, look, bro. I look just like you. G, if somebody was to put you on the ground like this, I'll put it on my godmother. I would not let that shit happen. 3 George, I look just like you. Gee, I look just, I'm talking to you. I ain't talking to him or him. Bro, nigga, I look just like you. Bro, what would you think? Think about it. Think about it for a quick second. We look just alike. We look just alike, bro. If anything was to happen, your mama, my mama gonna look at each other like, how we gonna do this? I look just like you. You take off that blue uniform, guess what, bro? I look just like you.
We saw 3 consecutive nights of protests right here in Houston, which resulted in hundreds of arrests. One of them, Damon Whitlock. He says he was taken into custody after an encounter with Houston Police Chief Art Acevedo.
So even though he just moved to Houston 3.5 months ago, Whitlock says it was only natural he take part in protests seeking justice for George Floyd. Whitlock says as Friday's peaceful protest took a turn,
I try to calm him down. But the thing is, you can't calm down 400 cops.
He tried talking to the officers on the front lines.
Let's make sure everybody get home safe. I told him that we have our rights to march. They start pushing the crowd back. People just went crazy.
Whitlock says he and a friend were trying to leave as ordered.
Somebody said, take him down. Next thing, I'm on the ground.
HPD says Whitlock was getting in between officers and the protesters they were trying to arrest for allegedly throwing bottles and rocks at them and destroying property. Court documents say Whitlock refused to obey a lawful command of Chief Art Acevedo.
Hands up! Hands up!
You guys are just doing your job.
Watch your back. Watch your back.
Yo, y'all just push this way. Y'all just push this way.
We live here. You live here. We're not.
Oh, you're not playing hands. They didn't do us right. That was unjust. HPD know what they did. A lot of people violated people's rights, especially mine.
We in policing have to do a better job of respecting our code of honor, respecting our oath of office. but the majority of our officers do a great job. Nobody can deny that.
With all due respect, a water bottle thrown against a bus full of police in military gear does not warrant tear gas being deployed against citizens in the middle of a pandemic. That is not proportional and that is not restraint.
Ms. Steinberg, with all due respect, it wasn't just a water bottle. They took over that bus. They jumped out on top of it. So information is important. So please, it was not just a water bottle. Okay? It was not just a water bottle. It was not peaceful. So let's be fair to all parties concerned. Let's be fair. Let's be accurate. And let's not put out misinformation. That's good for the people in the city of Houston. Okay. Councilmember Kamen.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate that tear gas was not used by HPD yesterday. There was, when the bus, I believe, Mayor, was being overtaken, pepper spray was used, and sometimes that can get confused with tear gas. There was no tear gas deployed yesterday. HPD, I'm told, did put on gas masks at one point, but it was not needed. And again, gas was not deployed. In terms of the conversation about...
These are some unstable times economically for the city of Houston.
It's why furloughs are on the table.
We anticipate that about 3,000 employees will be impacted from furloughs, going up to a maximum of 10 days within the year.
Furloughs would start in July, but would not impact police, fire, or solid waste workers.
Echo of George Floyd's name bouncing off City Hall, hundreds of protesters turned out with one goal: stopping City Council from approving the city budget so financial cuts could be made to the Houston Police Department. The first step, according to these protesters, is delaying the vote on the city budget. Councilmember Letitia Plummer is asking that $11 million earmarked for HPD be used for other purposes. The money would come from eliminating 199 unfilled vacancies in the department. Plummer wants to see the money used in part to start an independent citizen review board with the power to investigate police misconduct. Those outside City Hall say it's time the reforms come to HPD.
Because it's our money that they're using, and we have a say in how they use it.
For many here, the call to defund the police is personal. Manji Thomas immigrated from South Africa and is disturbed by what she claims is happening with American law enforcement.
And I'm heartbroken because this is not the America that I thought I would be facing in 2020. So something needs to change.
We just got an update from Councilmember Letitia Plummer. She left that budget meeting and came down here to address this crowd. This crowd here wanting to see reforms within the police department. Councilmember Plummer was offering some reforms to put in place in the budget process happening right now. Ultimately, all of her reforms were voted down. They were sent to a committee. They will not be going in this budget process, at least not for now. It's not what the crowd out here wanted to hear, but that's ultimately what took place. And of course, the folks in the crowd here wanted to see these things happen today. It will not happen today.
The city's $20 million rainy day fund, typically used when major hurricanes hit our area, is being used to help balance the budget and respond to the COVID-19 crisis. Turner says it puts the city in a difficult spot as hurricane season approaches. Turner says it's clear the city needs more help.
Charged politically and racially.
Pay close attention.
Yes.
Because these little white guys with their skateboards are the ones that started all this.
That inflammatory proclamation delivered to a crowd of Houston protesters was not a one-off. Last Friday marked the most violent night in Houston. The next day, Saturday, the chief said this at City Hall.
We're seeing that there are people that are not people of color that are coming into this city and other cities to actually start agitating and actually engage in violence.
Over the last few days, our team has tried to find evidence that supports the chief's claim that a certain race of out-of-towners descended on our city, causing trouble. Well, charged. We examined hundreds of HPD arrests over the protest time period, and we could not verify a single criminal case in Houston that matches the chief's description. The overwhelming majority of those charged, well, they're from here. And like Houston, it's a racially diverse group. Without further clarification and no evidence to support his claim, this one is a red on our trust index. Joel Eisenbaum, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Thank you.
I think today has been a good day. I think 60,000 people came to Houston intent on showing the rest of the world that this city was frustrated and angry and wanted to see change and could do it in a way that made our city proud.
Locking this in! Why are you locking this in? What the fuck? She's stuck! She's stuck! Come on, come on, come on!
And I think in many ways, you had a better global view than I did from where you sat to see everyone's coverage. But from what I saw, Eric, there were an awful lot of people who did exactly what they and organizers intended to do. And I think Houston can let the sun set on this day feeling good about what we did today.